Alright, Matt. So welcome back. We're in the garage today. It's a little cold now this time of year, but we've been through a few different lessons, and the one thing that hasn't stuck the most has been the driver and the body rotation in the driver. So I want you to start your warm-up, go through your normal routine, get yourself stretched out, whatever you need to do. As you can notice, we're in the garage, so there's nobody around us. We don't have to worry about safety or hitting into anybody else. The garage door is nice and big. We're in the center of the garage, so there should be no harm whatsoever. So whenever you're ready, go ahead, take your first few. Let's warm up. As you're taking your swings, I'm just going to kind of go through my head and look at each different step and what we're trying to achieve for today. Essentially what we're working on is shortening the golf swing, using more of your body rotation, and not using all hands and arms to make the golf ball fly. Go ahead and hit a couple more. Let me know when you're nice and loose. Okay. It definitely looks like you're starting to turn the body better, but the hands are definitely getting too high in your finish position on your first coil on the way back. We want to kind of work on your hands being a little bit lower and a little bit more in the slot position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a video of this next one here, just so that you and I can both see with our own eyes exactly which path you're taking and how high you're getting those hands on the way back through the golf swing. Whenever you're ready. Good one there?
It's on the green.
It's on the green, he says. Alright, so I'm going to show you here, essentially, your swing. And essentially what's good with these types of apps is I can draw right on this screen myself. So I'm going to draw a nice straight line right along the path that I'm thinking you should take just by your setup address. So you can see the shaft angle and the plane that it's on now. Essentially a one plane perfect swing would be following that all the way back and all the way through the swing. So you can go and take a look here and you can see for yourself what it looks like and how ridiculous it may seem slow motion. You can notice, see how high your hands get up above your head, and you can see the club over parallel past your head on the other side. We're looking for more of a right about here. Right there would be a full golf swing. So notice how your hands are still nice and high, but the club doesn't pass parallel. As soon as you get that club past parallel, it's much harder to get the club to recoil and flex back down into the golf ball. So we want to try and work on a little bit of a shorter swing and keeping that body nice and stable and turning around the golf ball. Okay? Now that I've told you and we've discussed what I'm looking for, go ahead and try and hit that golf ball in the way that we're looking for you to hit it. Picture a nice 3/4 swing, nice and short. That's better. Even shorter than that could be a little bit better. Awesome. There we go. That's better. So go ahead and give that one a rip. Okay. Much better there. Well done. Come on and take a seat right back here. I'm just going to kind of give you a visual of what exactly I'm looking for you to do. So essentially, that short swing is the first key factor into creating a good swing, is keeping it nice and short and compact to here. The further you let the club travel away from the golf ball, the harder it is to get it back into impact and at the proper position. So now these next few shots, what I want you to do is I want you to really focus on that short swing, but the next step in the process is I want you to focus on your impact position. I want you to keep your head stable and facing the golf ball for as long as you can after impact. You almost want to feel like your hands get to this position before your head looks up and at your target. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to use more of your body rotation and keep your spine at a stable angle through impact. Your spine and posture move through impact. That's what creates your offline or off-target ball flight. So what I want you to do is those next few swings when you come up here is I want you to just think about a nice little half swing and stay in your impact. And I want you to focus on keeping your eye down at the golf ball and move those hands through impact. And you want to stay in your impact position for a split second longer so that you can force all of your power into the ground and into the golf ball. Okay? Go ahead and tee up a couple more. I want you to focus on short swing. Let your hands pass through the golf ball before you decide to look up and watch your ball flight. Feel free to go nice and slow, real smooth. There's no reason to go too fast right now. We want to focus on fundamentals. We want to focus on what we're trying to work on. Better. Much better there. You could stay down in your impact a little bit longer. Don't worry so much about where the ball's going or what you're doing. It looked really good. The ball flight on that was way better. Nice and low, wasn't too high, and it didn't have that high right hand turn on. It was much more of a penetrating flight. Same thing, nice and smooth, short swing, stay down through impact.
Lost all my grip on that.
Swinging too hard. No need to hit it too hard. Like I said, we want to focus on what we're working on. We want to focus on the task at hand, not necessarily where the ball is going to go right now. Even shorter than that. Nice, short, and compact. Better. Alright, so go ahead and hit another one there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a video from you on this side now, just so that you and I both, we can look at impact position and see exactly what you're doing at impact and what your body looks like. Whenever you're ready, go right ahead. That one sounded much better there. I couldn't see anything, but contact still faded. Contact on it sounded much better. So essentially, what we're looking for now when we look at this profile view of your video is we want to see, again, I'm going to draw a straight line down the side here. And essentially what we want to see is we want to see your hands and ball contact happen before anything moves upper body past that line. So again, that's you staying stable and through impact, forcing your hips through and coiling through the golf ball to create that power. You don't want to use your hands and your upper body muscle to move the golf ball. Okay? So let's go slow motion here, just through this, just so that we can see slowly what exactly is happening. Again, you can see your hands are still getting real high. The club still is much closer to parallel now. It's gotten much better, but still a little bit past it, so you can go a little bit shorter. And watch how see how all your body turns and slides through that line. And then right at the split second, you lean backwards, almost into a reverse pivot kind of position. Essentially, what I want you to focus on is that downward motion of your body turning and everything firing into this position. Don't feel like you have to take a full swing and come all the way up and around. Focus on the short half swing right now and focus on staying in that impact position. Better, better, better. It's going to feel different. It's not something that's going to be, a right away fix or easy to do the first time. It's going to feel really weird. You may not even really create good contact for the first few times that you do swing like that. But like I said, we want to focus at the task at hand. We fix this, work on this, we can move into the next step. A nice short swing. Stay down through your impact. Better. Much better there, much better. Same thing, focus on that nice short swing, down through impact, rotating your hands over it. Okay. Still getting a little bit of that right hand turn. Much more compact now. The hands aren't getting as high as they were the first few swings though. So we're making progress. We're moving in the right direction. That's better. Don't worry about where the ball's going. Focus on impact. Focus on keeping that head stable and staying down. Better, much better there. Okay, now that we've got you into a little bit of a better position, kind of turning your body a little bit more, essentially now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to step a little bit further away from the golf ball. And what that's going to allow you to do is it's going to change your posture from being so upright, and you're used to having your posture upright because your hand, and that's what would make your hands go right up in the air, because you'd be standing straight up. What we want you to do is we want you to get you a little bit more tilted over, a little more sitting down in the back, and that's going to allow you to stand further away from the golf ball and create a wider radius from you to the club. The further you can make that radius from you to the club, the further the golf ball is going to travel. So go ahead and set up like you normally would. Do your normal stance, stand up straight, do all that stuff. Just pause at address. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put an alignment stick down, and I want you to just move back a little bit into where that alignment stick is. Good? I want you to move back so that your toes are right here. A little bit more. There we go. Notice how right here is bent over a little bit more. You feel like you're a little bit further away.
It hurts.
It hurts. So I want you to now focus on that short, compact swing and turning around your body.
I don't like this already. Wow.
Now you can notice the sound not only itself, but the way in which the trajectory jumped off the face. The ball went straight up into the air and flew. Whereas the other ones were kind of starting off low and rising and fading off to the right. Now I know it feels weird and I know it's not easy to do, but again, same thing. I want you to try that exactly again. A little bit, that's perfect, just like that. And focus on that short, compact swing, staying in impact, and turning around your body.
Good.
That's perfect. Just a little backward lean. Now, when I say stay in impact, I don't want you to get the motion of falling backwards here. Staying in impact means taking your swing, but allowing your center, or your spine, to be stuck in the same spot. You're turning around your spine. You notice when I coil and recoil, my spine doesn't change. I'm still going to move this way after impact because I want to transfer my weight. Much better. You're starting to get it much easier now. That rotation was much slower and smoother, and it looked like you kind of went through each step in your mind as you went through that backswing. That nice slow tempo takeaway is creating a little bit easier for you to keep that swing short. That was great there. Now, before you get to the next one, I'm just going to ask, what type of shaft and what kind of driver do you have there?
This is a TaylorMade R9 with a regular shaft in it.
Okay, so a TaylorMade R9 with a regular shaft, you say?
Regular shaft.
Okay.
I believe, actually, yes, it is a regular shaft.
Okay, all right. So essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my driver, and it's a little bit stiffer of a shaft, but what I'm noticing is now that you're getting closer to that correct path and moving your body a little bit more around the golf ball, the ball's still kind of getting a little high and a little bit too off to the right-hand side. So I'm going to give you my driver to hit, and I want you to notice the difference. So you take that same swing and use that driver that's a little bit stiffer. Now again, it's going to be a little bit newer technology too, so the face is going to feel a little bit hotter, and you're going to feel like you can miss it a little bit more off the heel and off the toe and still get a good result. But let's have a good view here and see what it looks like. So again, same thing. I want you to focus on turning around that body, keeping their right elbow nice and tucked into you. Awesome. Awesome. Much better there. I love the short swing. That looked really good. Go ahead and do it again. I'm just going to watch from this angle here. I just want to see what's going on through impact. I want to make sure you're staying in impact as long as you can while still transferring your weight through the golf ball and towards your target. Looks pretty good. It looks really good. The last couple swings there were really good. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. Okay. All right, so we got the hands going into a much shorter position, much more compact golf swing. A lot of good turn moving on. We're still seeing a little bit of a little right-hand turn. And essentially what I'm seeing from that is the way that the path is going through the golf ball and the way that you're releasing the club. So essentially what I want you to do is take a stand back here. So essentially what's happening is you are getting your hands just a little bit too high in the swing. and that's allowing you to throw the club over the top and come down across the golf ball. Now what that path would look like for you is something very similar to that white line there across the golf ball. It's across the golf ball, down and through. And what that's doing is that's allowing you to put on too much of a left to right spin on it. Now with this path, there's a few different ways that you can hit it and a few different ways that you can miss it. If you were to hit this path with an open club face, as you've noticed, the ball would travel very far off to the right-hand side. If you came down this path perfectly with a dead square club face, you'd still get that left to right-hand spin off to the right-hand side, but not as severe as it would be with an open face. And lastly, same thing if you came down this path with a closed club face, you'd get the same result of that ball spinning out to the right-hand side, but you're going to start it on a path left of your target. Now sometimes that may work, but that's not necessarily a consistent strategy to work towards. So what I'm going to do now for you is I'm going to move this alignment stick in here, and I'm going to move it onto a path on what we are trying to achieve. I want to try and get you to bring that club inside and around your body, get you to turn more and feed that club through and out at the target. What that's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to stay down through impact and release your hands a little bit faster at the golf ball. So essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to get you to view from both angles. I'm going to get you to stand there and watch one, then I'm going to get you to stand over here and I'm going to get you to watch me in impact as well. Okay? And with standing back there, I want you to focus on the inward path that I bring this golf club and releasing it towards my target. Notice how short and shallow my swing is, and my hands don't get high and up into the top of the golf swing.
Now, Michael, you were a little bit past parallel there.
Was that past
Did you
parallel?
feel that?
A little bit too long? Okay, that happens every now and again. You get a little too excited, you're getting amped up, you get a little bit too much speed going on. That can happen for sure. No problem. So I'll do it again. I'll show you exactly what I want you to feel and what I want you to look like. All right, come on and stand over here, and I want you to take a look at what's going on at impact. So I'm going to try and swing a little bit slower here for you, just so that you can really get a good visual of what's going on. But essentially what I want you to notice the most is I want you to notice my upper body, my head, and my torso. I want you to notice how they stay in impact position as my hips turn and my arms fly through the golf ball. This allows you to get as much power and as much force as you can into the golf swing and releasing those hands at the proper moment just before the golf ball. Okay? 1. Stroke penalty.
Beautiful.
So what I want you to do is I want you to get back in here and I want you to really focus on that short golf swing and focus on staying in impact and turning around your body. Hands got a little high up towards the end of the backswing. I'm going to keep them a little bit lower. Go nice and slow, work on the tempo. Let's focus on working at the task at hand. Nice and smooth. There we go, that looks better. And focus on rotating around your body. Better, better. I just want you to focus more on staying down and through and turning. You're still getting a little up and through the golf ball a little too quickly. That's better, that's better. Okay? Still have a little bit of right hand travel, and really all that essentially is happening is once you get here, you're just leaning backwards a little. You can see when I have my hands at address and I lean backwards, my hands naturally open. And that's naturally going to give you that off to the right hand side spin. So I want you to feel like your hands go through and your shoulders go through your impact. You can notice that my body is starting to want to turn this way, but I've already gone through the ball. You want to get your hands up to about 3 o'clock on the other side, and then that's when you turn up and through the golf ball. You never want to fall back and you never want to lean back. You want to keep the body moving forward, move it towards the target. Even still there, you can feel that you're kind of leaning back just a little bit, right? Yeah. It is not an easy game. So what I'm going to get you to do is just take a step back there again. So, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to do a little drill here, try and get you moving more towards, away from the golf ball, swinging out at your target and turning around your body. You notice the golf ball's teed up, and there's a tee a little bit in front of the golf ball as well. And essentially, that tee in front is off to the right-hand side, and what that's doing is it's making us focus on swinging out and away from the target. What I want you to do is I want you to stand in here, and I want you to try and hit that golf ball and hit that tee at the same time. Obviously, the trajectory on it, where it goes, isn't going to be the greatest. But I want you to focus on that path, coming inside and turning your hands over the golf ball. Notice how when I went through the golf ball, all of my body weight moved forward. I stretched my hands through impact, and that made me travel through and up. And I'm not leaning backwards and falling back out of target. So again, I want you to stand up here. I'm going to tee up another ball here. And I want you to focus on trying to hit this golf ball and hit the tee on the way through. Okay? You got it, sport. Better, much better. Love it. Love it. Like I said, the ball flight is not going to be exactly what you're looking for right now, but let's focus on the task at hand. Let's work on what we need to work on, and we can move on to the next step. Same thing, I want you to swing it through that golf ball out at that tee. There we go. Much better, much better, much better. Alright, running out of tees. That's okay. So now that you can feel of going outward, can you feel a difference in trying to reach out to that tee?
Yeah.
You can feel like you can feel the inside to outswing. So now what I'm going to do is the last little step here, and I think this is going to be a big deciding factor in how you hit the golf ball and how your ball flight occurs with the driver. So essentially, I want you to set up as you normally would and take a pause. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where your ball position is. Essentially right now, your ball position is fairly in the middle of your stance. Right? We can agree that it's pretty much in the middle. It's definitely forward of middle, but closer to middle than it should be. Essentially what we want you to do is we want you to shallow up this stance a little bit, get your feet a little bit closer together. Now I just want you to shift backwards a little bit. So now we're getting the ball position a little bit closer to the front, but you can even slide back just a little bit more.
Backwards or
Yeah, move that way. Yeah, there we go. So now the ball is a little bit closer to the front foot. Essentially what that's doing is that's allowing you to hit that golf ball on that upswing. And since we're trying to focus on an in-to-out path, it's very easy for you to hit the golf ball on the upswing with this in-to-out path. Before, when you were hitting the golf ball outside in, it was very easy for you to have the golf ball so far behind your stance because it was a steep downward motion. We're trying to get you to be more shallow and around your body. Okay? I want you to I'm going to keep this here, and I want you to feel like you got that just tucked inside the left foot each time you hit a golf ball. I'd say that was pretty good there. A little bit off to the right, but it was more of a straight fade than a slice like we've been hitting before, right? So that was much better there, much better. Let's do that exact same thing again. I want you to focus again on getting that ball position perfect. Just up on the inside of that left foot, the inside and around your body. Better. I like how you're moving, at least that time when you hit it, you move forward even when you lost your balance. That's what I don't want you to fall backwards ever. I want you to feel like always, even if you mishit it, you're moving forward and you're creating that forward transition. Again, same thing. I want you to feel like you got that ball position tucked up on the left foot. And I want you to go nice and smooth, short around, and through the body.
Give me another one.
Hit me. Smooth. Nice and smooth. Don't try to hit it too far right now. Better. Much better.
The wind took out.
We're going to get a little bit of a right-hand turn just because of the elements out here today. You are correct. So don't, if it's just going a little bit, don't worry about it too much. We want to just get rid of that big, nasty slice. And we've done that so far. We've done really well. Am I laced too wide here? Now, essentially what you want to look at when you're looking at stances, you want to keep it about shoulder width. You don't want to be too wide of a base. You want to stand shoulder width. You want to be athletic to the point that if I were to try and come in and tackle you, you'd be able to throw back at me and knock me over. What'd you feel that one? Just weird in general?
Just felt weird.
Really focus on that turn around the body. That in to out path. Oh, much better there. See, there we go. Much better. Great shot. Now, I realize you totally lost your balance on that there, but essentially that's what I'm looking for. Is you moved your body through to the target, but it was after you made contact and after you had impact. You didn't slide back and you didn't lean backwards, and that's how you could tell. You could tell just by ball flight. Ball flight was much lower, penetrated, and even the elements in the wind out here today couldn't move that ball. That was much better, much better. Same thing. We should focus on that in to out path. Get that ball position a little closer to that front foot. There we go. Getting closer to it. Let's try and slow the swing down so that we're not losing our balance as much though. We're gonna, again, like I said, we want to focus on the task at hand. We don't want to worry too much about how far we're hitting it. We want to focus on each individual aspect and work on turning through the golf ball and creating that body rotation. It's looking good though, it's getting better. The contact is definitely improved. You can tell each time that you're definitely hitting it better. The sound it's making is definitely solid. You just got to get you to be a little bit shorter in the golf swing and a little more around the body. In the blue person. The swing is getting much shorter. I can see in the video here that the club's not even getting to parallel now, so it's much better. We just need to get you to keep coming on that inside plane and turning around your body. Awesome. Great golf shot. Great golf shot. What, did you notice anything or feel anything that was different there compared to anything else?
Yeah, it felt 10 times better.
Yeah. Well, that's how it should feel. But that's what we're trying to create. Is we're trying to create that around the body turn, nice short swing, inside to out pattern. Like we do at the end of every lesson, we're going to play a little percentage game. At the beginning of the day, if I were to ask you how many do you think you'll hit straight today, after our lesson, how many would you have said?
Out of 10?
Out of 5.
2.5.
2.5, so 50%. Yeah. Half the time, okay. So that middle ball's got to be moving all over the place. So essentially, that's what we're going to do, is we're going to hit 5 golf shots. And by your visual and what you see and how you know your game, I want you to tell me whether you hit that straight or even just better than what you've done before. And let's try to get it to 3. Let's try to get 3 out of 5 rather than the 2.5.
Hard hitting the crack ball.
Hard hitting the crack ball. It never goes straight. So take your time, get your setup, focus in on it. 5 good swings.
That's better than what
I'd say that's pretty much better than what you're used to do, right? So there's 1. That's 1 out of 1 so far. On to the next one. Same thing. I want you to focus on hitting that golf ball straight, dead down the line, short swing, turn around your spine.
It's a movement.
Two. Now, that one there, that is the ideal flight that we're looking for. You couldn't have hit that any better. That was the best one you've hit today. Well done. So, 2 out of 2. We got 3 left. What do you know? 3 out of 3. Let's keep it going. So we've hit our target. We've hit what we wanted to. Now we got 2 shots left. That is what we're trying to create though. Look at that draw. You can tell that by hitting a draw, that ball flew probably 10 yards further. Just by the flight itself. That draw spin on the golf ball allows it to cut through the breeze rather than get caught up and brought up into the air.
Yeah, but it feels wrong because it's not my usual swing.
It definitely feels wrong because it's not your usual swing, but that's what we're looking for. We're trying to get you away from the norm. We're trying to get you into better. So I'd have to say that's 4 out of 5, 4 out of 4 so far. So we got the last one here. Let's hit it one more good swing. I could give it a 5, I could give it a 4.5. That one was still pretty damn good too. That was very good. So, with all that said, 5 shots at the end, 100%. Now, can you distinguish the difference between us pelting ball after ball and you hitting those last 5? What did I do differently to make you focus more? Try harder?
Yep.
Competition in a little bit of a game is always good to make you focus a little bit more. You can't stand on the range and just pelt ball after ball after ball after ball and expect to get a different result. You have to actually focus in, zero in on what you're trying to create and the motion you're trying to accomplish, and work for that. You don't want to worry about what happens and how the ball is hit. You want to focus on what you're trying to do in each individual step. And that's what you did, and you created 5 out of 5 good golf shots. I couldn't ask for better.
And you too, kids, can do the same.
So thanks again. It was a pleasure. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you, Mike Miller.